We are so glad to be back. This is the third episode of the Pop Shop. Once again, we're coming to you from the heart of Inglewood up to No Good, California. And if you don't get that reference, that's a you problem, because anybody who grew up in hip hop know what that means.
Yes, indeed.
Okay, so get with it. I got my co-host as usual.
That's right.
Hadrian Carter.
Exactly.
Infathomable, the indestructible.
Yes, definitely making my way from the D
Takes-
to the ATL back to California.
Takes a licking but keeps on ticking.
Exactly.
We have some really good topics that we wanted to dive into today. But first, let's talk about what's trending. I've been noticing, and it's getting kind of scary, let's be honest, is COVID back?
COVID is back.
COVID is back.
And I can tell you that for sure because I work in a school and the numbers are going up and you're finding many people who are coming down with COVID. And
Students or teachers?
Students and teachers.
So what is the administration saying? Like, what is the official?
Well, basically, when you think about it in the news, they pretty much brought COVID back down to like a flu. So it's like a common flu. It's nothing really serious, but you have to look at the symptoms. You have to see if a person is breathing heavily, if they're coughing, if they're sneezing. But for the most part, if they come down with it or are in close contact with someone who has it, you need to monitor your symptoms for 5 days.
Wow.
And if your symptoms aren't really bad, you can return to the general public.
So let's face it, COVID is like a really bad relative that we have to live with. It's going to come around, leave, pack up, go back, and then come back when we least expect.
Well, it's pretty much going to stay around.
Pretty much, it's going to be around.
And you need to get used to it,
Yeah.
although you have different variants.
Yeah. Now let me ask you a question.
Go ahead.
Are you going to take the booster?
You know what? I'm going to put it like this. I took 2 shots
You took 2 boosters.
just to keep my job.
Okay,
right?
okay,
But
so-
after that, I'm not taking any more.
Now, what if it's required?
Required. My first 2 shots were required.
Oh,
but the
okay. So
boosters are
you
not
don't think
required.
that it's going to be mandatory from here on out?
I don't think it's going to be mandatory, but what has been said is that the people who have pre-existing conditions should definitely take it.
See, that's what I'm hearing too.
respiratory.
But see, I'm hearing a lot of pushback from the black community. Right now, let's just face it, the black community is not too trusting right now of the, certain things that people are pushing. So to me, if they want full compliance, they're going to have to get real tricky with it. Like, to me, they should think about putting that shot inside of a Chick-fil-A sandwich.
You're trying to say they'll eat
The
it?
pepper jack. But it can't be free.
Yeah, no,
Black
it
people,
won't be
let
free.
me tell you something. You know what black people go for? 2 for 1.
2 for 1.
See, we like 2 for 1s.
2 for 1s. and then-
50%.
and-
50% chance of getting what it
and
is.
as long as we inject it in there.
Yeah, as long as it's in that pepper jack.
Yeah.
We down with that.
But I do agree with you about black people being suspect about it.
Being
They don't-
suspect.
They don't want to take that.
They don't know,
Because it's
and
not really proven.
but here's the deal. To me, it's proven because a whole lot of the numbers of people who didn't take it are way higher than the people that did. The fatality numbers we're talking about. So, to me, that's proof enough. Now, unless Kyrie Irving and his team of scientists want to step up with their
Well,
with their dedicated
you have
research,
Kyrie
because
Irving.
he said, "I'm going to do my own research."
Yes.
We still waiting on that,
We're
Kyrie.
still waiting on that.
All right, still waiting on that, Kyrie. What else is happening? So I think that, let's face it, we are having a moment right now. Black folks are having a moment right now with sports.
Yes.
And I mean, let's start with something I don't want to forget about, but Sha'Carri Richardson. I mean, she stepped up and she did the damn thing.
Exactly.
All right, she stepped over there and she brought it to the Jamaicans.
Yes, she did.
Who they my wanha.
And she
Watch
made
your
them watch her
attitude, Watch your attitude, Sha'Carri.
Yes. Yes, but she did some amazing things out there.
She did, man.
I
She-
have to
she-
be happy about her progress.
She did.
Because the whole world was definitely against her.
Yeah.
When that marijuana came about.
Yeah, but the marijuana is only part of it. It was her attitude too, because remember, she accused the Jamaicans of being pickaninnies, third world pickaninnies, when they said that you supposed to be Miss Big Bad USA. So she did kind of go in on them.
Yes.
And but she's young. Let's be honest. She's 22 years old, and she had some issues in the relationship department. She said she was with a woman that was very abusive towards her. So there seemed like to be a lot of stuff going on. Now, what I thought was interesting, she's actually kicking it with the dude who won. Is it not the guy who was on a black guy brother who was on the sprint team?
Yes, I know you're talking about. I forgot his name.
Yeah, but they're actually kicking. But what I thought was interesting was that let's face it, if they do get together, and it does go further, let me tell you something. In that living room, that baby ain't coming out unless they hear the starter pistol. All right, where it go?
I agree with
that baby. Don't go in there with forceps. Bring a starter pistol, Doc.
That's right.
That's the only way. You know what I'm saying? The baby's coming out.
Baby's already running.
Like what's the character in Incredibles?
Yes. All over the place. What's his name?
I forgot his name. The Speedy. Let's call him Speedy.
All right. It'll be Speedy. I forgot his name.
Speedy Blazy. So I wanted to. The main topic of discussion today is that because what I've been hearing, and we're in the political season. Before we go into political season, let's talk about how the fact that when we did our podcast, we were dealing with the hurricane that wound up being more of a blip than a beast. Okay,
exactly.
It kind of fizzled out, and then not long after that, down in Florida, they had another hurricane. But prior to the hurricane, they had an issue with the white supremacists shooting the 3 black people in Gainesville. And let me tell you something. I ain't never seen a governor more happy that a hurricane was about to hit his state, so he didn't have to talk about no dead black people, than Ron the racist DeSantis. Mm. When he was in the damn press conference, he was almost excited. Oh yeah, it's gonna be a 4. So we have no time to talk about those dead black people.
No, let's get rid
of that. They're dead, and because they're dead, it's actually history. And since I don't allow history, we can't talk about it.
That's right, especially black history.
It's black history. So, boy, that all works out. But being on the topic of Ron the racist DeSantis as we go into the political season begins to ramp up. Let's talk about what's going on with Joe Biden, because I've been hearing some, I got to be honest. I mean, I got to know. Black folks still riding with Biden? Are we still rocking with Biden? What's happening? Because we put him there. Let's be honest. We put him there. And like I saw an article recently saying if he stays, it's going to be largely dependent on us.
Yes.
So let's talk about it. What are you hearing? What do you feel? What are your thoughts?
Well, I'm gonna speak to this, that in the African American population as well as the Hispanic population, those numbers are dropping. And if I'm not mistaken, let me see, pull this up. So they were somewhere around 70%, has dropped down to 60%, and then in the Hispanic population, it was more so around 50, but then it's dropped below that as far as people who are in favor of Biden running again. And one of the main issues is basically when they're looking at him and hearing him speak is basically his age, and in most cases being incoherent.
Well,
it seems to be.
I know, and but two things. Let me just think about that, because yes, do I wish? First of all, I voted for Biden, and I plan to support the man again, because I just think that he's done some things that we haven't seen. First of all, his record is stellar. Mm-hmm. I mean, he's done some things that presidents we haven't seen done in the last 30, 40 years.
Right.
First of all, I think it's still early, and I think people are listening to the spin. And let's be honest, what are the alternatives? Okay, what are the alternatives? Mm-hmm. I mean, on the other side, we know we got over there. Okay, we got a man who has 91 federal accounts.
Yes.
Federal charges.
Mm-hmm.
Still running. Mm-hmm. Just took his first mugshot. 4 indictments in 4 different jurisdictions. Okay, 4 felony indictments. So we know what's happening over there. And then you still have so many people who are running for president on the right side just being like nasty and mean. Like, who's this? Nikki Haley said that you have to you can't vote for him because Biden's gonna die. Biden's gonna die. I just think if he dies, we're gonna be stuck with Kamala. Well, let me put this to rest, you, Nikki Haley. I would vote for Joe Biden's casket before I voted for your ass.
Wow.
Okay, that's how mean and nasty she is. So just to say something like that, like you ain't a doctor, you don't know what's going on, and like I said, based on and the fact that you stood up in a debate and raised your hand when the moderator asked, would you support Trump if he was convicted? And she raised her hand.
Yes.
So what you're saying is that a convicted felon is more qualified than Kamala Harris.
Basically, that's what she said.
That's basically what she's saying. So what is that? And what are you basing that on? Your own prejudices? What I mean, where does that come from? I mean,
I would say yes to the prejudice.
Yeah, so I don't understand even, like I said, where that even comes from. So and I know that when we talk about this before, you have mentioned there's some things about his age and his cognitive ability. I ain't gonna lie. Look, they've caught Biden at some more than one or two senior moments. Yeah, but let's be real. That job ain't no sleep, man.
No, it's not.
All right, it ain't no sleep. Biden, but still he's doing it. To be honest, are we paying him? Joe Biden looks so damn happy. He looks like he'd do it for soup. Joe Biden looks like he would work for soup. My name is Joe Biden.
And I work
for soup.
I understand.
Don't tell Jill.
Don't do it.
And Barack would be like, hey, Joe. How you doing there, Joe? Me and Michelle just thought we stopped by. We want to know. Don't even do it. Don't even do it, Barack. I'll do it. I'll work for soup.
I'll work. I hear you.
Michelle would be, don't do it, Joe. They got money. The federal government don't. Michelle, the man already decided he's going to work for soup. So, but like I said, they have caught him in more than one senior moment. But like I said, I think it's a demanding job. But at the end of the day, he is a CEO.
Right.
He's got people around him in certain positions doing what he needs to do.
And they're there to help him.
They're there to help him. They're making the decisions. They're making, they're making the thing go. Okay? They're making the thing go. So I think he's, it's challenged. But like I said, present me with a legitimate alternative because everybody on the right is an idiot. I'm just sorry. But, Chris Christie's one of the few dudes who's at least bringing up some issues, the fact that this is insanity that this man is even still trying to run Trump.
Right.
But everybody else is just playing the game.
They're playing the game for sure.
Playing the game.
So
it's okay.
To add to one of the things, well, actually, several things that we were talking about in reference to why the African American population and Hispanic population numbers are dwindling is the federal rights legislations, police reform, and then also pathways to citizenship for immigrants. That's something that was promised but has not come to fruition.
Yes. Okay. But now, since we're going to talk about stuff that's promised,
yes,
let's just talk about what the man has done. Okay. Let's get down to the nitty and the gritty. Okay. Because, when he first came into office, what was going on? A pandemic.
Yes.
The panini. Okay. Donald Trump had no plans for distribution of the vaccine. There was no, as a matter of fact, people said they were shocked that there was absolutely nothing going on in terms of how we're going to get the shots to the people. Biden came in and brought his people. And to me, he pulled the country out of the pandemic and made the vaccine available. The economy was in the dump. He rescued the economy.
Yes.
Then he did something that nobody thought he'd be able to do. He passed a huge infrastructure bill with bipartisan support. And now you got to understand, I was a Sanders guy. Okay. I was a deep because Bernie Sanders. I think that now they're talking about his. He might run in 2024. Well, he decided he wasn't going to run 2024 because most people thought that was his age. Sanders 2024. So we scrapped that plan. Oh, fuck. It's not my age.
That's going to be another thing.
Yeah. So Sanders, but I just liked his whole approach to where we are. Because to me personally, I think that you need a mix of capitalism and socialism for society to work. You need a floor. You need a safety net, And to me, what really cracks me up is that, rich people or wealthy people, the 1% claiming socialism will destroy the country, the economy. But it's interesting because, once again, in their arenas, whether it be sports or finance, they employ socialism very liberally. Okay, when we develop vaccines, when we develop medicines, they get government assistance to develop these things, and then they farm it out to the world and make massive profits. And how much of that money really comes back to taxpayers? Okay, shit don't come back. All right. Look in sports. The whole idea that the worst team is going to pick first because we want to level it out. What's that? Yeah. Okay? That is socialism in practice. Okay? How about the fact that, and we're going to talk about this in another show, but now they're trying to put caps on what some of these college athletes can make. Okay? That to me isn't, so there's a lot of things. But listen, I want to cover a couple more things before we move on, because there's some really key things that I think we cannot not give Biden credit for. Okay. One thing, he appointed more black and female federal judges than the last two presidents combined. Yes. He appointed the first black female vice president, Kamala. He appointed the first black female Supreme Court judge, Ketanji Jackson, who by all accounts is a legal beast. I mean, her mind, and the fact that she started as a public defender, okay? Most Supreme Court appointees come from a very select pool, okay? And the fact that she started out as a public defender, the bottom, started from the bottom, now we're here. Right. Okay? So that was, to me, and that's something he promised and he did. When that whole thing happened in Jacksonville with the water, he made sure them people gave them immediate $115 million additional funding to help with the water situation. Right. More people with health insurance than ever before. Yes. Job creation. We now have the lowest record of black unemployment in like 30, 40 years. The lowest unemployment rate in 50 years. This is a big one. Anybody who does business with the government has to have a $15 minimum wage requirement, or you get no contract. Okay?
I like that.
Okay. No pay, no play.
One of the issues I see with that, though,
what's that?
That interferes with that, with any of the financial gains that we are making in the community, is the fact that inflation is so high.
Inflation, yes, but let's be real. Let's keep it a buck, baby. We have the lowest inflation out of any G7 nation in the world, and the lowest unemployment. China's inflation, and who we talked about last show, the BRICS is being threatened. Their inflation is so bad, and the unemployment. They told reporters, don't even report on the unemployment rate no more. Don't even bring that shit up. Don't even bring that shit up. Get your ass out of here. Get your ass out of here. Hey, that's Japanese. Close enough, right? Close enough. Don't cancel me. Oh, actually, cancel me. We need something like that. A nice damn scandal. Yeah, man, the unemployment for youth is so damn high. They don't want people reporting on the shit. So, I mean, let's talk about that.
For their youth?
Yeah, but overall in general, and the whole they propped up that economy with them ghost cities. We saw that shit for years, right?
Yes.
Buildings and real estate that were just unoccupied, literally ghost towns, but ghost cities. And that's how they propped up the GDP and all that stuff. So, but as anything, rubber hits the road, and now it's time to pay the piper. And that yen ain't working. The yin and the yang and the yen ain't working. It ain't working, son. What we gonna do, G? What we gonna do, G, my
That's
knee?
what we're all saying. What we gonna
do, right? Because and there's some real storm clouds, for the American economy, no doubt about it. Things that are happening, and this whole UAW thing, which we'll talk about another day. But before we wind up what we talking about here today, let's talk about something that really. One more thing. In Inglewood, the administration, Mayor Butts, and what recently got from the Biden administration $15 million in additional funding for the transit system at 3 Market Street, Manchester Prairie. So once again, infrastructure means jobs, and those are livable wage jobs. We ain't talking about 12, 13. I mean, them jobs, man.
So we're talking about livable wage for California.
Yeah, right.
So
right. 45, 45, 45, 55, 55, 55, 55, 55.
It takes about $220,000 a year to live comfortably to buy a $800,000 house in California.
Damn.
That's on the low end.
Damn. Hey, that's why you the money guy. I'm the funny guy.
Hey, we got to figure something out.
Figure it out.
That time of us having one income to take care of family is out the door. You need everybody to go to work.
That's right. And everybody needs something on the side, some residual. So that's why also, too, moving forward on the Pop Shop, we are definitely going to be bringing you information that, we are right now compiling, getting together, that we feel is going to be some real helpful
definitely
stuff.
Add extra income to
add extra. So, we look forward to bringing that to you guys. Listen, and then, I know this is a touchy subject for a lot of people, but the last thing I want to talk about is the fact that Biden did lead the world in helping Ukraine defend its sovereignty and democracy against the overbearing, baddest of bad guys, Putin.
Yes.
All right, so, and he did it without committing U.S. troops. That's pretty big, pretty big. And I know a lot of people say that ain't got nothing to do with us, but it does, because let's face it, that dude ain't gonna stop. That dude ain't gonna stop, man. Just like Hitler, you got to stop that where it is, or fight it where it is, meet it where it is, because it'll, and who knows? Maybe all they did was delay it, because we know something big is coming.
Something big is coming, but our nation still has a problem with Biden pulling our troops out of, what was it, Iraq, Iran?
Yeah, no, it was Afghanistan.
Yeah, Afghanistan.
Yeah, they said it was a messy, but you know what? That had to stop too. Trump didn't do shit.
No.
All right, they all sat, they talked. So hard decisions got to be made. I get it.
Yeah, and it was made.
Yeah. So before we wrap up, the one thing I did want to touch on was the fact that it seems as though I guess, to me it started a little bit with, I'm saying his name, Cube. Cube sort of began to, the whole contract on America, and he starts talking to Tucker Carlson. They riding around Compton in the back of the, and now it seems like other rappers, particularly from the gangster realm, are coming out and cozying up to Trump. And to me, that's like, what?
Well, if you get
what is that about?
If you get a pardon,
right?
Come on now.
Okay, that's what I'm talking about. So let's talk about is it good for you, or is it good for us, or is it good for everybody? Because here's the deal: if you got a side deal going on, fine, do your side deal, but don't promise that you bringing everybody else with you.
Right?
Because I can't even conceive. Let's talk about it, man. The base of the Republican Party consists of white supremacist groups who want to destroy physically and remove black people, brown people, yellow people from this society, or reduce them to a point where they don't matter.
They don't matter.
Okay, they don't matter. We know that.
Well, if you think about what you're just saying about the gangster rappers who are saying that they support Trump, he's just using their following.
Yeah.
And using their following is not going. And what you did for that rapper is not going to help my people as a whole.
Right. But
You only helping
why?
that person.
So that's what I want to ask. So it's like, I mean, and then the reasoning why, like I see, dude, oh, Trump got a mud shot, my nip. My shop got a mud shot. That's my dude, my dude, my nip. That's my dude, man. So I was like, wait a minute, man.
Abilities.
So that's what I'm saying. It's like,
We're not
let's be real, man. Black men have been so beaten down, defeated, and marginalized. We can only identify with the lowest rung of. I mean, Trump is trash, man. Seriously, man. This dude. Regardless of the federal indictments, do you know what this dude used to do to his best friends? When any best friend's wife who he wanted to get with, he would invite them over to his office in Manhattan, knowing that he kicked it with the husband last night and they did whatever they were doing. Mm-hmm. And he would have the wife sit there and he would call the dude and say, hey, what'd you do with that girl last night?
Wow.
What did you do? Huge. Yeah. What did you do? The wife would be there because he wanted to get with her and he'd be like, told you he wasn't faithful. And then he would just, I mean, this is who this dude is, man. That's who this dude is. So it's like, on any level, he has no loyalty whatsoever. Expects you to go to jail, lose your position for him, but wouldn't leave the golf course 5 minutes to help your ass out.
Because he's all about himself.
All about himself. So even on the basic level, it ain't nothing about this cat that resonates with anybody. And then the most uncomfortable thing, the way he talks about his daughter. Everybody knows that is highly irregular. For this dude to be talking about how attractive and how sexually desirable she is, and if he wasn't the president, if he wasn't the daddy, he would definitely date her. Who talks like that, man? Would you kick it with a dude who talked about that?
That's pedophile.
Okay, would you, man? I'd be like, bruh, lose my number.
Yeah.
You need help. Lose my number. Okay. So, taking it all in for what it is, I just think brothers and black men. I'm not saying, like I said, I'm not no flag waving Democrat, but like, let's look at what it is, and let's be realistic. What are the options? Okay.
What are the options? And then I guess one of the key things you can think about is, if you need the African American vote, what are we getting in return?
That's true, and that's fair. I have no problem with that. Mm-hmm. That's fair. But don't come to me, because here's the deal. It ain't no policy that on the right that aligns with anything, speaking from a black male perspective, that you can get with. There's not one policy that say, okay, I align with that. I can see that. Not one. So if you're telling me that, first of all, you don't know that because you don't know that, because you don't really know shit about politics. You're identifying with the person, the messenger or whatever, right. Because he has not the message. And that's what we have going on. Exactly. Because you look at Biden, the messenger, okay, he's a weak, like I said, he got senior moments, but look at what he's done. Okay, look at what he's done. Mm-hmm. Look at what matters to you.
Well, look at what is allowed for him to do.
Right, there you go. Because
every president, you're allowed to do
exactly, you're allowed to do certain things. That's right. And you look at, but even you look at prescription drugs, man. He challenged the pharmaceutical companies to something that they said would never happen, and he made them reduce the cost of drugs for diabetes, cancer, crucial drugs. This is one guy talking about his bill went down from $400 a month to $35. Okay, now that's a whole lot of black people getting that assistance.
Yes, it's a whole lot of black people
getting
it. But
diabetes, sugar in the blood, get my pressure up.
But
pressure up.
Who gave that drug to us first?
That's true. That's true, man. But listen,
sugar is the biggest one.
That's right. So listen, I think we had a really a good show. Yes. Really good show. We're gonna want you to join us because we're gonna talk about the Dion phenomenon.
Yes.
Deion phenomenon,
Let's
the
talk
black
about Deion.
athlete. Let's talk about that. Join us for the next show. Y'all be careful, be safe, and we'll see you real soon.